Hey guys, it's Steve Lee again, and I'm here today with a really exciting update from Elegant Themes for the Divi theme. They have released Divi 4.0, and today we're going to be checking out the Theme Builder, which adds some really exciting functionality to an already powerful visual builder. So we're going to dive in today and style a blog page. Actually, we're going to change all of the blog pages. I think there's something like 20 or 30 of them on this particular site. And using the new theme builder, we're going to be able to design a post design that we can apply to all of our posts. And in this case here for this realty company, we're going to try to make the current default post resemble as much as possible the home page. So this is what we're going to be going for here as our goal, with kind of a 50-50 split screen on top, and that's gonna closely match the current home page. A far cry from what the default post type looks like, which is really standard. And I'm sure if you guys haven't gotten into customizing posts before or creating templates for them, that can be kind of a pain in the butt. And these default posts aren't very stylish at all. So we're going to try to really closely align the post types with the current homepage. And in doing so, it's going to be applied. We can apply it globally to all of the posts, or we can do it just to certain categories. And you'll see all that once we dive in a little deeper to the actual theme builder. A couple housekeeping notes here. One, make sure Divi 4.0 is new, so make sure that before you go updating your live production site, that you at very least do a backup. If you've got the ability, maybe do 2 backups, because that's definitely not fun to recover from if something were to go wrong, like a plugin incompatibility, or you get locked out, or something breaks somehow. In our case, we're hosted on WP Engine, and we've got 3 servers, one for production, one for staging, and one for development. So it's kind of a one-click copy between the servers. So I spun up this morning's backup of the production server into staging, and that's where we're going to be doing all of our updating and work. So I've got I just spun this up into our staging environment. And I've still got to update to Divi 4.0, so we're going to see that. And there's a new version of WordPress out too, which covers some really heavy security updates, which is nice. A lot of them were even user submitted. So again, before you do these big updates, make sure you back up, work in a staging environment if you can, and then get in there and push it out to production once you're sure everything is perfect. So I'm going to go into the update section here. This will just take a couple of seconds. I know it's nothing new to you guys, but for those that kind of don't know the order of things, generally best practice to hit your plugins first, and then hit your theme, and then hit your WordPress core. So this is getting our plugins updated. I'm going to head back into the update screen and get Divi 4.0 installed, and it looks like they've been hard at work there in just the day or two since 4.0 came out. They've already looks like had some maybe some bug fixes in there. So I'm going to get that updating. This will just take a second as well, and then I'll get in there and do the WordPress core. And I've already done this 2 or 3 times for this particular domain, so I'm positive that there's nothing that's gonna break here in the update process. But for you, if this is your first time doing it, maybe after each iteration, go through your pages, make sure everything's showing up correctly. And here we're going to get WordPress updated to 5.2.4. And then we will get rolling and dive into this theme builder. So here we are with with our website on a staging server, completely updated. And over here on the left-hand sidebar, under the Divi column, you can see that there's a new button here for Theme Builder. And we're going to go right into that. And this looks a little different than anything we've seen before. What I'm going to do is ignore this right here, this default website template, because I don't want to change everything for the entire website right now. I'm just changing it for post types. So I'm going to click the Add New Template, and you can see here that it's asking us what we want to use this template on that we're about to make. And we can create as many of these templates as we want, which is really convenient, especially if you've got like a WooCommerce site and you need to do archive pages and category pages, or you want to segment your Divi post categories. Say you offer services and you want to have a custom sidebar that offers a lead magnet for each particular service. You can create these templates to be used on specific posts or category pages and things like that, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to do all posts because we don't have any kind of segmentation that we're going to do at this point. So I'll click all posts and create template. And you can see here that it just brought up another new add new template section. So if you wanted to create more of them, by all means, go ahead. We're just going to do one today and plug these things in here. So let's start off with the custom header. For that, and just to clarify, the header is going to be this entire section from the very tippy top of the nav menu down to below here is what we're going to be designing. The body section of add custom body is going to be this section from here down to here, and then the footer is going to be everything below that. And we're going to add each of those sections today, just to show you what a kind of a complete post template would look like for you. So let's get into the custom header, and this is going to be the lion's share of where our work is done today, just because there's a lot that goes into it, especially with making that custom kind of split screen design. So when you click Add Custom Header, it's going to give you two options: Add from Library or Build Custom Header. If you click Add from Library, it's kind of just like in the Visual Builder. It's going to bring up pre-made layouts, of which Elegant Themes has a lot that they're pushing out. I just saw one in the email today that had a layout pack. So this is kind of a nothing new screen. We're going to click Build Custom Header, and everything should start to look pretty familiar with the exception of the top bar. You're going to be in a Visual Builder, and the Visual Builder is kind of what makes Divi what it is. So we're going to build from scratch. And I'm going to add 2 rows. And I'll go through and kind of describe what I'm doing here, because there's a bunch of changes I'm going to be making to get that kind of full width split screen. If you have any doubt or you need to go back, all of the CSS that I use is going to be in a link to the Trello repository, where we keep all of our Divi CSS share stuff. If you ever get lost, you can definitely reference it there for kind of a step-by-step checklist. So right now, I'm going to start with just one section and then a single row, but it's going to be split up into 2 kind of 50-50 columns here. And from there, I'm going to add in kind of some housekeeping that I've done in the background just from having it done on the home page. I've got the CSS classes that I need to add to the advanced tab on the row settings. So I've got those added in, and I'm going to add in a CSS class for each of my columns as well. And you can do this too. So to add CSS to each particular column, I clicked on the row settings, and then I'm clicking on the setting of column 1 and going to its advanced tab and adding a class. And then I'm going to do the same thing for column 2. I'm going to add a class, and it's going to be for the second column. And really all this is just some custom styling that we've done on the back end to make the tablet and the mobile views look a certain way. So, and again, all that CSS is going to be in a snippet in the links provided below. Feel free to use them as your own. So I've got that added. Let's start with getting this row full width. So I'm going to make a custom guttered width of 1. I'm going to equalize the column heights and set this width to 100%. and the max width. If you leave it at 1080, it's not going to stretch across the screen, so we've got to change this to 100% as well. And that's going to stretch that across the screen. Sometimes if you get rid of some of the padding that's here, like in this section, this row can sometimes overlap the section part. So if you need to, kind of make that the last thing, getting rid of any kind of padding at the top and bottom so that things don't overlap and you don't need to go clicking in and out of wireframe mode and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do for right now. Let's see, and I'm just reading from some notes on the side. We've got our section width, or our row width, set to 100%. In the section, we're going to take all the padding out of that and make it 0, 0, 0, and 0. And you would think that having, with those being empty, where I input those zeros, that it would, that they already would have been at 0, but sections do have padding at the top and the bottom, and it doesn't show up in those sections. So I zeroed all those out just to take out any excess padding, and everything looks like it's working nicely here. The row settings button nested nicely next to the section setting, so that eliminates any kind of problems in us having to go in and out of wireframe to access and change things. So at this point, we're gonna start doing some things that you probably haven't done before in the Visual Builder. We're going to add a new module, and we're going to add the post title over here to this first column, this left-hand column. And in the post title, under the Elements tab, I just want the image to be on this left-hand side. So I'm going to take away title. I'm going to take away the metadata. I'm going to leave featured image. And everything else should be pretty good here. So I'm gonna look through here real quick and make sure. Okay, and then I can see we've still got a little padding here from this row that we're gonna take out as well, which we can just do by clicking and dragging it up. Looks like it's got it on the top and the bottom. All right, so we've added this post title settings over here to the left, and we're just keeping the feature image. Over on the right hand side, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to add post title, which you can scroll down or you can just type it into the search bar at the top. And once again, we're going to remove the, not once again, this time we're going to keep the title, and we're going to remove the metadata, and we're going to remove the image. And we can see here that it's got just our post title over here on the right. Okay, so something that I need to add here to this text, just to be more in line with the styling of the original homepage, is a little bit of CSS that again will be included in the snippet, and I've already added it to the Theme Customizer additional CSS section. So this is the class that it's called, Script Blog, and it'll change the size of the font, and it rotates everything. I think we did 8 degrees. Just to kind of give it that slant. I'm also going to go in here to the design and spacing section, and I'm going to move this this whole set of text here over to the left. We're going to do just one. Oops, it would help if I did this right. We're going to do -1 rem, and we might even do -2 rems here, just to overlap it a little bit further into the over the featured image picture. So you can see how that kind of moves that left and right, is where you would kind of control that. So I'm going to leave it at 2 for now, and then I'm going to give it about a 10 rem top margin, just to bring it down further and kind of center it in line with where this will be. Again, feel free to adjust this up and down as much as you want to. And I'm going to save this. We'll give this a quick save. And then below the post title, I'm going to do this all over again. I'm going to click Add New Module. We're going to do a post title. And this time I'm going to remove the title, and I'm going to remove the featured image. And I think I'm just going to leave the author and the date and the categories, and let's take comments off. I've never been a big fan of actually we'll leave them on. I'm a little undecided right now, but we'll come back later and figure that out. And then in the design section, I'm going to go to the meta text and maybe change the color of it just to be more in line with our color palette, and align that over to the right. Now, this being a 100% width section and row, if you leave this completely right aligned, it's going to butt right up against your margins every time. So I'm going to go into the spacing section and maybe add in just a little bit of padding here on the right hand side, just to drag that over a little bit. And we'll see how this looks once we get rolling and we check it on tablet and mobile view. We might need to change that positioning a little bit, but for right now, this is starting to look pretty good. I'm going to set my my font for my headers here. You can set this as your default font, or I'm going to change it here to Quentin, which is a nice script font which is used elsewhere on the site. By all means, use whatever font you need to. I'll also include a link for the for this Quentin font if you really like it and choose to use it. I think it works out pretty well for headers. Maybe not so much on longer post titles, but we're going to play around with that and see how it looks. So I think we're almost done here. We need to add another section to get our navigation in the top, because if we save this as it is, it's going to display this on all the posts, and once you're in the post, you won't be able to get back out because it doesn't have the original page navigation, this blue bar with the navigation menu items up there. So let's add a new section. It'll be a regular section, and you can type in menu at the top, or you can just scroll down and click menu, and it's going to start adding your menus. So it's asking us here which menu we want to use, and we do want to use our primary menu. We want to add our logo. Intuitively, I would have thought that it would kind of just import whatever the default current navigation menu is, but it does not do that. So I'm going to go in here and choose our logo from the media library. And let's see what else it's asking us for here. Do we want to have a shopping cart icon or a search icon? We're going to say no for those. Logo link URL, we might send that back to the original homepage, which we're not going to do now just because this is a staging site, but that's something that you'd want to do for your own site. And let's go into design, because this doesn't look anything like what our current homepage looks like. So we've got to kind of make this style a little better. The background color, I'm going to add our blue to, and head into design. It gives you layout options so that you can left align, center align, or inline center align your logo. And we're just going to choose left because that's what we currently have. I'm going to go into the row settings here and start to make this full width as well. So I clicked row settings, the design tab, and then the sizing tab, and we're going to drag this over to 100% and 100% here as well. And that's going to make our menu stretch across 100%. And let's start to change our menu text to, here we go, menu text is white. We're going to make it all caps, just like on our current homepage. We're going to change the menu text size up to 17 pixels, just to be in line with what our current website homepage is. And I'd have to go back in and see if we've got any kind of menu line height or anything like that in there. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to go into the section settings, and we're going to change the background color of the section, because we only changed the row before. So we're going to change that to the same blue, and it's starting to look more and more like our regular homepage menu. It looks like we've got to right align the menu items. So we'll go back into the menu settings and the menu text, and we'll find alignment here somewhere. There it is. We'll send that over to the right. And if we need to, you can add a little padding just to, that looks like it's pretty close. We'll add that padding in there. I'm gonna drag this menu, or I'm sorry, this section up above the section we created first. And it looks like we're gonna start to draw down the margins here. And then we're gonna go into the, looks like we've got to add some left margin here for the logo, just to get that off of that kind of far left side of the screen. I'm back in the menu settings, design, logo. Actually, I don't need to be under logo. I need to be under spacing and add some left margin here too. And it looks like our logo is a little bigger here than it is on our current home screen. So we're going to go in there and make that a little smaller as well. And that is under the menu settings, design, and then sizing tab. And we've got logo max height here. We're going to change that to about 85. And that should be pretty close to what our current home page is. And I'm just flipping back and forth here on the tabs to see what that looks like. And that looks pretty good. I think we are about there. We're going to go ahead and save this. And once that's saved, we'll exit out with this white X up here at the top. That gets us out of the template layout editor. And you can see here that we've got custom header set up for all of our posts. So if we go into our posts right now, it's just going to have that header. It's not going to have the body or the footer, which is slightly problematic. So let's get in here and do the custom body next. And we're going to build custom body. And this is super duper easy, and will take all of 20 seconds for us. I'm going to start building from scratch, and a single row and column here. And then if you scroll down, you can see post content is what we are after. I clicked post content, and I'm doing nothing else. I'm not changing any of the information in here. It's kind of just an example of what it would look like. We're not saying that every post is going to have this lorem ipsum in it. So what I am going to do is, and I only know this from trial and error and doing this and practicing it before I recorded the video, we've got to remove this padding on the top and bottom of this section. I'm going to do it on the section, and I'm going to do it on the row, just because everything above this is going to be our header area, and I don't want that gap to be too long before the actual post content starts. So I'm going to do that on the bottom as well, because otherwise there would be a big old gap there before our footer starts. So I've removed the top and the bottom margins from the section and the row, and we can save this. That's all that needs to be done for the body section. It's gonna more or less dynamically drag in all of your post content to this section and organize it as such. If you have sidebars or anything like that with lead magnets for lead generation, these are just perfect. This global template is just perfect, because you can change your column type and have your kind of like a full width row on the left side, and then just a little sidebar on the right side, and that's just awesome for lead generation. One more piece that I missed here. I've got to go into row settings, and we're going to make this a 100% width, just to have the text stretch across the screen a little bit more. and make it a little more friendly to read and look a little more proportional. So I think that's it for the post content section. I'm going to hit save, and as soon as that's done saving, I'm going to exit out of the template layout builder. And finally, we're going to add in a footer. For our footer here for this site, we created a new page, and this was a couple months ago when we originally created the site. We created a new kind of blank page and just built a footer section out, and we're going to be adding that back in just to stay consistent with the entire page. So to do that, we're going to be clicking on Build Custom Footer. And once we're in here, it's going to ask us to load a layout. Here we go. That's what I did wrong. So I've got just the blank default section here. I'm going to click Add New Section, Add from Library, and select our master footer. And that's going to load that in. I'm going to delete the original blank section, and now we are looking at just the footer that is used on the rest of the website here. And I might remove any kind of padding if there was any left over. It looks like we're pretty good here. I'm going to click Save and see what this looks like once we open a blog section page. So this is saving. I'm going to click the white X at the top of the corner to exit the Edit Template Layout section. And you can see here that for all posts, we have a custom header, body, and footer. And we should be on the home stretch here, minus a couple tweaks that we might have to make just to center the post title on tablet and mobile, and we'll see what that all looks like too. So let's go out to the home page of the staging site here, go to the blog page, and we should see that we can pick any of these blog pages to go into. They should all be exactly the same. And there it is. We've got our post title here. We've got our metadata here. The featured image is over here on the left side. And oh, what is this? This is our this is from when we originally built the page. It still has the original post content in it. So this is very likely, if you don't have any kind of custom styling on your pages, you might have to go in here to edit the post. And over here on the right hand side on Divi page settings, I'm going to go in and hide the post title, and we should be able to update that, and then I'm going to go back in and view the post and see what we look like here. Okay. Let's view the post and see what this looks like, see what kind of tweaks we need to make. All right, this is looking pretty good. There's still a little bit of a gap here that is maybe not so desirable, but we can probably change things a little bit here to make that close up a little bit. And our footer still isn't showing up here. Let me do a quick refresh and make sure that we're not waiting on anything there. So I think what happened is we didn't save it over on the Theme Builder section. So on the Theme Builder section, if all of your changes have been saved already, it's going to tell you right here, all changes saved, and I can see it's asking us to save changes because we haven't done it yet. And that's kind of the name of the game sometimes, is figuring out those little pieces that you miss. And I definitely missed it and didn't have it in my notes to do that. So all changes are saved. We should be able to go here and refresh this blog page and get a pretty good look at what we're dealing with. Looks like we've got a little bit of padding we've got to take out in the top of this section. I'll do that on my own time and not waste yours. And our footer and our body content has all been populated very well. So this is looking pretty darn good. A couple little housekeeping things we're going to go in from here and change. Feel free to stick around. I know we're at 30 minutes already on this video. Feel free to stick around and see how things will, how we change and edit for tablet view and for menu view. So let's give this a quick refresh here. I just want to see what this is, make sure that that's all working. And we're going to pop back into the theme builder, the header menu. Looks like there's a tiny little bit of padding at the top here that we've got to take out. Let's figure out if that's on the image or the row or the section. It's not on the image. Let's see if it's on the row. There it is, 3 pixels of padding on the top. So we're actually going to take this out for the top and the bottom because we don't need any of that there. And we took it out and it looks like it added more. So to close that up, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do zeros here on the top and the bottom just to make sure that's completely closed up. That'll seal the deal, pun intended. So we're going to save that, and then let's start to see what this looks like under tablet view, because surely we'll need to make a change or two there. Change this to tablet, and it looks like over here on the left-hand side, it's kind of pushing off the left. That would cause some errors in Google's mobility check, so mobile friendliness check rather. So we're going to go ahead and make a few changes here to the post title. I'm going to go into the title text for one, and I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to go down here to the spacing and remove the 2 rems of left margin, because that's surely pushing it to the left. Oh, and we want to do this on tablet. So let's make sure that we have tablet selected. And we're going to put 0 there, and that'll make sure that that centers. And then for the tablet margin, the top, this is a pretty big gap on a tablet. So let's go in here and change this to, let's see what 5 rems looks like. I think that that's a pretty good height for the top. And for the bottom here, we might do 2 rem, just to separate the meta text there. So that's looking pretty good for tablet. Let's check it on phone. I think we're looking pretty good here. This is centered, at least it should be centered. We'll double check to center this on mobile. It is already. And then our margin on the top and the bottom, our padding looks great. And I'm just going to go into this meta text here, and I think we're going to center that on mobile as well, just to see what that looks like. Let's see, meta text for mobile. We're gonna, oh, I think it's got some right padding on it that we're gonna take off. Maybe that's what's causing our problem. Change that to a 0. And now go up here and we'll center this. And that looks pretty good. I think that's going to work out well for a mobile phone as well. Let's save that. And I think we're done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you a quick view of the little bits of CSS that we have in here, just to make this this styling kind of pixel perfect for us. And all of that is in your theme customizer. And again, I'll include these snippets. I believe it's just 2 of them below in the comments, and they'll be attached to the Trello repository, so you can always find it. So what we added here was were these 2 bits. The script blog, that is the class that we assigned to this text in order to make it kind of slant to the side, those 8 degrees, and it sets the font size and the font family to that script. So we've got all that set there, and then just a few more bits of media queries to adjust the font size for the different size devices. So we've got all of this right here included in a snippet that you should be adding to your additional CSS if you want this this same look that we're going with. So guys, that's all I've got for today. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, because we've got a whole lot more Divi 4.0 tutorials coming up to make the best use of this this new theme builder. And if you haven't already, check out our Facebook page, Divi CSS Share, and come on in there and share any kind of CSS tips or tricks that you have. And you'll find the Trello repository there, and a bunch of good folks. That's all I've got for now, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I know this video is longer than kind of the 10 minutes, 5-minute quick tips we usually do, but this was well worth it. Thanks again, Elegant Themes, and thank you all very much for checking it out. Good luck, and let me know if you've got any questions below. Thanks, and bye-bye.